Good morning. Let's see if I can get this better. I think I can get that better. Looks better. Yay. I think it does. Let me just make sure that I've got the right audio on too, because I switched. Wrong mic. That's a better mic. Check, check, check. Yep, better mic. Yay. All right, good. Let's get to it. A lot to go over, guys. A ton to go over here. So let's get into it with the earnings on the week. And we'll start there. Obviously, PayPal didn't go well. And, but we'll just cover the basics of it. I was really guidance and gross margins more than anything. It just really didn't go well at all. So what do you do here? I don't think there's a lot to do with it. I'll show you what I think are the key levels. You're really not able to hold here at all. So there's obviously right here, and then you kind of want to go from there. I mean, I think some of this stuff you're really going to have to, watch very, very closely today and see how it goes. For me, I don't think it gets any clearer than that with some of this stuff. So that would be the big levels that I would look at. And then obviously you just go to yesterday's close and then go from there. You really don't want to break that level. Like you just do not want to break that level at all. And it just was not what I would call like the best call out there that I can see. So, it's not something that I'd really play with. There's much greener pastures that I would be paying attention to, but I'm going to go through what's out there right now. Spotify, you came out here. I think they were fairly good. You came up here twice, bonk, bonk, and then you rejected. You have to start respecting that. You can see that you're below, or you should be below VWAP. I'll just pop it, but you should see that. You should be, yeah. So now you're starting to break that VWAP level, and now you're getting to the CFO. MAU, which is monthly average users, were up, but the monthly average users were up. But the other side of it is that I don't know if it's margins or I don't know if it's FX. So I haven't been able to really dive into it yet, but that's definitely something to look at and go from there. So for me, that's kind of how I see it. But there's a backdrop to people wanting to buy these names right now. So we'll see how that goes. To me, it's very clear. What's going to be the winner today, which is just going to be PLTR. They just crushed. They just absolutely crushed. I went through this last night. That's why I always tell people to watch those videos. Even if you have to put me on double speed, watch them during the week because we cover a lot. You want to see something like super cool? I think it's cool. If you watch that VWAP from that level and you just see it start to turn right here, test, right? 4 a.m. they try to crack it, and then it's like, nope, lifts, retest down, and now you're going to try up here again. I still have half of what I bought from last night, which is pretty rare for me to do. I usually will clear it out, and then I'll come in. Maybe I'll buy at 8 or I'll buy after, but they crushed. I mean, they just crushed. I don't know how else to tell you guys what they did. And if you know how to read a balance sheet and you go look at their gross margins, it's just through the roof. Your best case scenario is if you saw like 97, you tested here a couple times. It's the high of this bar too, bonk, bonk, bonk. But I do think that you're going to get massive institutional support. And my thought process here is that you're going to have institutions that will buy this that never had an interest in it before. And I don't think retail understands it. And it's interesting because I don't think the sell side's picking it up yet, the way that they're discussing it. But, we'll say it's going to be a long time before I think you see somebody crush like that on the margin side. The margin side of the business was just absolutely huge. So we'll go from there and see how it goes today. But I do think that this is definitely going to be one that can continue, which is kind of rare to say, with these kinds of days. You usually don't see that. You'll see like the fade or something. I'm not so sure this is going to do that, but I would just watch the 104 level and go from there and see how that plays out. But it's definitely the one that would be on my radar today. I'm trying to think what other, go through the ones you guys are going to ask about. Ferrari did well. What's kind of interesting to me about this is I'm not going to walk through this because I don't have access to it yet. But what's interesting to me is that new car that they have is not selling too well. That Salandri, it's not selling too well. People really don't want a hybrid, and they really don't want they just don't want it. But Lamborghini did it too. I'm not really sure why they're doing what they're doing. The cars that are really selling from these high-end car dealers are the ones that just went back to like naturally aspirated engines and got rid of all the EV stuff. They're the ultra high-end stuff now. But so we'll see, and then we'll go from there. To me, a lot of people won't play these names. I would tell you start looking at European names. I think it's very clear where this is all heading. To me, it is anyway, with Arames and those names. But what do I know? Like Merck and these names, like they're just blowing up, man. And this stuff like this, I have to listen to this call. I don't know what I'm missing here, and I have to really dive into that. I'm just going to point it out because I have it in my screen, but I don't know what's going on here. These are the kinds of names I like to get involved in. Candidly, these are very simple names to trade from a, how can I say this? From a lower beta perspective where, pardon me, how can I say this? What's the right way to say this? Man, the lighting in here is just god awful. So I really don't want to watch a video on how to do lighting. I just had this whole guy walk me through how to do the audio. I still haven't fixed that. Anyway, get it together, Boomer. Focus. These are so easy trades. Like when you catch like a New York Stock Exchange name that's lower beta and it's going down or it's going up, they just grind. They just grind. It's a very different action than you have out there with some of these other names. But I do think something like this, it makes a lot of sense. Like if you can catch this short, you want to pay attention to it. They're super easy trades. It's like set them and forget them, is really how to look at them. Estee Lauder, you're seeing this huge divergence between people wanting to buy, I guess, eye cream or whatever the heck they sell and lipsticks. I don't know what you ladies do. You guys do all kinds of crazy stuff. And, you're seeing this kind of divergence, aren't you, with like the Estee Lauders in the world and the ELFs of the world, where all of a sudden, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But no bueno, I guess. I guess they're not into it anymore. They're over all this stuff. But whatever. So when I say this kind of stuff, it is what it is. I don't know that I'm doing anything here. I think I'd want to listen to this call and see if it's something I want to pay attention to. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I haven't listened to the call yet. There's so much information. I was thinking about this last night. Like there's so much information that I was trying to get through last night, and now you have to become a tariff expert and everything else. See, that PLTR broke out. I told you. It's going to be like that all day, man. All day. What do the kids say? All ding dong day? Like all day. It's going to be like this. So I'm not doing anything with it. I have it. I'm just sitting with it and go from there. So I do think that that's of interest. Before we even get into the indexes and the sectors, I do think you want to look at stuff like that, like the Merck for shorts, but maybe you see the bounce. There's got to be some kind of bounce out there or some kind of level somewhere where it might hold. Maybe. Looks like you have a major level right here on that wick. Maybe that's it, 91, 93. Maybe that'll hold. You got a bunch of nonsense in there. Maybe you get some kind of bounce off of that. That would be nice. You'd have that going for you. Yeah, look how that tied in perfectly. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it? Bonk, test, bonk, right? So even when you have these 5 minutes, the best thing to do that I find most helpful is you just go back and take a look and go, okay, well, where do we have any kind of like pain point or resistance? And you can see support, right? But now it was what? Resistance in 2001 and resistance here. And then you flipped it after like a little bit of a battle, bonk, 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 right? And then you made a decision. And now that decision's come home to roost. So they're going to test that again and see how strong that is. But if you know that that's there, then you know how strong that level is. I mean, that level goes back decades. So you're going to have massive institutional support there. If you lose that, this is why it's important to know that, because if you lose that, you're hosed. If you lose that level, like, you're hosed. You don't want to lose that level. So I think that they're really the big levels there. It must be guidance. It's the only thing that I can think of as to why it's doing what it's doing. But it must be guidance here, and I'll have to see how it bounces off that level, if it bounces off that level at all, and go from there. But it's definitely one that's going to be on my radar, and we'll go from there. Take a look at it. See what else we have here. Pop that in and go from there. Anything else that I see that's of relevance that I really want to cover? So many other names. MSTR. You have that big meeting today. So I think that meeting will be interesting. How it goes, how it doesn't go, remains to be seen. But SAC's coming out at 2:30 today. It's gonna be like a big bro fest, hug fest for crypto. Yay, crypto. It's very clear that you're seeing like coin move stronger than MSTR lately. It's not any big thing. Like, it's getting back to its levels much quicker than MSTR is. So might be the better trading vehicle of the two. And what else do I see that's of real interest out there that I want to pay attention to? It's pretty much it right now that I see that I would really focus on. There's all the other bigger names out there where you can look at the NVIDIAs of the world and all of this. And, we're going to put tariffs on. We're going to take tariffs off. China comes out, does something. US comes out and does something. Okay. It's really a bunch of noise, quite frankly. Lately, I mean, when I read a lot of research, and it didn't even rank as something to be concerned about. Like, I think it was like number 25 or something of like issues that the street was even looking at. So, and I tend to agree with that. I think it's just a bunch of noise until it's not, until they do something crazy, which he could do, like 50% tariffs or something insane. But, you never know where this goes with him. And, settle in, you got 4 years. So, if we take a look here, you can see how you held Itchy's level from the FOM speech and the October 24 PPI level, the 100-day, the 22, and the 55. I'd like to flip these. I'd like a lot of things, but we'll see what happens. The other thing that I really need to watch here that I'm not crazy about, you can see it right here with the ES. See how this bar came straight across and now you broke down and now you're breaking down again? They're stair stepping down the 55. I'm not crazy about that. I'm not crazy about that at all. I'm also not crazy about the fact that I hit it and rejected, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. What else do we have that's of interest? Yeah, that's kind of interesting too. The gap fill and then the rejection. You might want to watch that today again. You have JOLTs jobs numbers at 10 o'clock today. Do I think it's a big deal? I don't think it's as big a deal as we may think it is, but I definitely think it's something to pay attention to. Not really crazy about the gap fill, and that whenever you're ready, man. And lately, this thing has just, I don't know how else to say it, sucked. It would be the way that I would say it. I mean, it's just unbelievable the issues I've had with this thing lately. Close without saving. Let's go back to this one. Are you ready? I'm ready when you are. All righty. Give me 1 second here to see if I can figure out what the heck just happened. Yep, it's just their program once again. Oh, welcome back. All right. And it doesn't matter which computer I'm even using. It's just been really glitchy lately. I'm going to have to pull up a backup so I'm not dealing with it again. I have tons of programs that I keep on purpose for when things get glitchy like that. It's just easier for me. So other than that, I think that that's important to watch those levels. The gap feels kind of interesting to me that we filled that gap and then we stopped. I don't know how I didn't catch that last night. I should have caught that. Yeah, I really should have caught that. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably doing some kind of PLTR dance or something. But they're the levels that I'd watch today. And I think JOLTs could have an effect on the market. It's really now more about the the Trump show than it is the Fed show. So, when stuff like that happens, you have to be careful, because then like the Fed wants to reassert that they're important, and then they'll say more extreme things. I know it seems silly. Really? We're going to do this again. Then the Fed will say more extreme things just to, just to get like attention. I don't know what you're doing today, man. Why are you having so many issues? And I'm not going to reboot this whole thing. But let's try a different one. Maybe I've got to go to... No, not that. That's not what I want. I've been screwing around with all these different things lately, playing around a little bit. I always go look back at things and just see how they're doing. Just because you'll see like a big differentiation. Administration, like people will say, oh, I just used this is my setup and I use the same setup. I don't usually work that way. I find different setups work in different time frames, different administrations, different things. This is an issue still, and I think it's a big one. So and let's do it this way. I still think this is a big issue here. And I think you need to be cognizant of this, because I think people are going to buy right into this, and you don't want to be like, don't be like them. Don't be like Freddie Fingers. And where is this? Where are you? Is it there? Is that the 6? There it is. Come on, work with me. Yay. So I think that this is definitely an area where you have to be like, okay, Boomer, you might have something here. So you have the peak anchored VWAP there. You have the anchored VWAP from the election there. You have the 22, the 55. Oh, good Lord. You have Itchy's FOMC conference end. You have the July CPI negative month over month reading, and it's all right there, man. So it was holding before and it cracked. So, pop goes the weasel goes pop. So you might want to watch that today and see how that plays out. I'm not sure how that spot call's going. It doesn't look like it's going too well. And we'll go from there. Anyone knows where that's from, they can get a free mug. All right, cool. So you see that area? And I do have mugs for those people that are in the room that keep asking me for them. I just got to patch in. Anyway, I'd watch that area, right? You're just going to want to watch that. But wait, there's more. If we drill into it, you can see it even more. And you can see what it's respecting. And the thing that you always think about this is it's not like, the reason why when you have this many pieces of confluence, you want to pay attention to it is because someone's looking at everything. That's why it works so well. So like someone's looking at the 55, someone's looking at the 22, someone's looking at the VWAPs, right? Someone's looking at Itchy's FOMC end or the July CPI month over month. So the more pieces of confluence you have in an area, I think I've got 6 there at least. And then you get the gap fill again. And this is what I saw in the market yesterday. And guys heard me in the room say this like over and over again. If you're not comfortable being in your trade and you've gap filled, this is your chance to get out. That's exactly what they did in the market. So the markets did that yesterday. And if you take one thing away today, I would take that. That's what the market did yesterday. The market got out when it was break even from how it closed. So it took the new information. So why is this important? It took Friday's price, right? And then it took all this information and then it got back to break even and said, I don't want to own the market at the same spot. And I think that's a really important thing to note. So do what you want with that and we'll go from there. But I do think that's very important. And we'll see how that plays out. What else do we have? And Merck got it down to their HPV vaccine due to China. Oh, I don't know what they did. Chinese regulators are launching a formal probe into Intel. Beijing received antitrust investigation Google while considering probe against Intel. China looks for new leverage against President Trump. Yeah, good luck with that. I'm just reading this as it came across. Judge has denied Apple emergency request to halt the Google search monopoly that could dismantle their search. That's reportedly worth as much as $18 million per year. Google's earnings today and they're getting bombarded with headlines. Yeah, that's sus as. What do the kids say? AF. Is that what the cool kids say now? I'm cool. I'm hip. Whenever I say that, I think of like Austin Powers. All right, cool. That's where I'm at. Let's take there. And we'll go there and we'll go from there. What else do we have that's of interest? That's it, man. I think we covered a ton in a very short time we have together. Yay. I'm going to start trying to get these closer to 8:15, maybe even sooner. What's up, Cal? What's up, Boomer? Yeah, I like that a lot, Cal. I do. I get why you're looking at that. You just have to have that long-term vision. You really just have to have that long-term vision with it. And, you know, I've said it a long time ago. I don't think that this falls apart in a Trump administration. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to get into all of it, but I don't think it does. But you have to have patience, right? Oh, John, sorry, buddy. Comes in at 4:30 in the morning and I skip him. What's up? Yeah, I'm concerned about the gap fills that we just talked about and then the back. Cloud is definitely becoming the cat's pajamas. So if you look at Cloud, right, and you compare it to the stocks, and then you take that and you throw a line in there, and then you just make it blank like this. Take a look at this. Like anybody, like if I went to you and just said, this is a stock, right? And you just saw this as a chart, we'll watch, I'll put it on Twitter and we'll watch everyone go crazy for it and say they'd buy it in a second. So if I went there and this was just a chart, right, and you saw this, anybody would buy this. Like anybody would be all over this, right? They'd be doing this and going, oh, look, I've got my cup right here and I've got my handle right here and I got to get involved, right? I got to get involved in this, right? They'd be all over it. Okay. And then what they'd be watching is you just be watching that right there. Right. And so when you go out there, watch, we'll put it out there and ask. So when you see that, you're seeing that transition. And I think you're seeing that. Now, the question that I always have for me, when I look at stuff like that is to go, let me do it this way, because then they'll see the thing and they'll go, I don't know, Boomer. Them to see that, and I don't need my name in there, I guess. Then it just shows that, which is weird. All right, let's do it this way. All right. That way I don't have to get any of that in there. Yep, we'll do it that way. Let's do it that way. I do think you're right. The question is, are you going to have enough of a heading, right? are you going to have enough of a heading out there to, to look at that and go, you have enough. Yeah, there's enough of those names that are going to get that kind of money in there. I don't know the weighting in the NASDAQ right now of cloud. Where I go with it is here. I'll look at it and go, do I have enough there in the IGV? Does the IGV make sense, right? Like, and if I do, then maybe you look at the subsectors or industries from there. See the buying on that dip? Starting to feel heavy up there, man. So I hope that helps. What else you got for me? ARK, I agree with. Baker. I can see why you're looking at that. Yeah, that looks great. And it's a completely different field. I'd be real careful with tech here, man. I've never owned so many financials. It's been years since I've had more financial names in my swing trading portfolio than I've had tech. It's been years, dude. So take that for what it's worth when I look at these kinds of names. All right. I got to check something real quick, guys. Give me a second, please. I don't like the negative divergence on the ARK. That's going to be a pickle. Starting to feel heavy. This whole market is. Let's keep going. I think the cloud is an early stage. I think you're right there. We're walking out Fed speakers because they had a blackout period, and it makes them sad when they can't tell you every 24 hours what's wrong with the economy, that they screwed up. I'm gonna have to watch it today. I can already feel the filter's gone. When I don't get sleep, the filter goes away. So I don't know, man. You guys are out there buying eggs. I'm out there. You guys are out there buying gold. See, it's funnier if I say it the right way. You guys are out there and buying gold. I'm out there buying eggs. We're not the same. I don't know. I don't know why it would do that. I think some of these names look freaking fantastic, like just fantastic. There's another one here too. Natural Grocer RV. Is that it? Dan threw it at me, Cal. What is it? NRVC. Is that it? NGVC. There it is. I mean, he's right. See how he came back to that level and held? Good morning from Miami. No. I mean, like, this whole thing was orchestrated, dude. The whole thing was orchestrated. I mean, it was very obvious. The amount of work that they got done in 15 minutes was kind of shocking, wasn't it? So I think Trump did. Thanks, John. I think Trump did what he did, and then I think what happened was you have the liaisons going back and forth, going, "This is what he really wants. Can you commit to this? Let's have a phone call and agree to it, and then this is all over." Yeah, you may be putting in a bottom, or as my niece says when she has to go to the bathroom, bottoms. But you can see how that's holding, like right here, over and over again. Every undercut is bought. Are you hitting a trough valuation level like on that? That's not really my game because I don't have patience. I know that you have much more patience than I do, Jacob, just from the way that you trade and the questions that you ask. So I don't know, man. I mean, you want to play that game? You can say it like right here, right? Like, here's where you're at. Here's where you're at. So you're getting signs of that. I mean, maybe look at some other things. Like maybe there's some other things that we could look into, like very quickly. Like if you're trying to bottom fish it, like you might look at that histogram real quick. I have a chart on this we could do real quick. I think I have the histogram already set up. Yeah. So like, let's go look at the 4 hour. So you already turned on it. And when you turn on it, it seems to catch it. And then you've got the divergence here on the histogram, say it. So you're getting a lot of setups here that are telling you, see how this makes like a that, and then you have the lower low divergence. Like this is really good at predicting like bottoms. That's how I'll use the histogram, like the divergences, like you see, like how this is aligned and then how this held, right? So I'll use a histogram for like a divergence like that. I just will. I know that's not straight, but don't judge me. Work with me. You see like this kind of stuff, like I'll use that, but I'm way off there. I got to go to this one and see if it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. And you can see this one too. So when I look at stuff like that, Jacob, yeah, like I get it. I mean, you might be there. You probably have huge vol, right? Like, yay, Mexico. Same vol you had here. Actually, you have even more here. And that could be because, like, okay, now we know what we need to do. I just think that threat's going to be there for, I just think that threat's going to be there and not go away all the time now. That's kind of where my head is with it. I think every 30 days, they're going to renew that threat. And I understand, like, I understand why he did it. And why he's doing it and why he feels he needs to do it. I got it. We don't have to go down that road. But like, are we going to be dealing with this every 30 days? Like, oh, you only sent 8,500 troops. Like, is it going to be every day we're going to be dealing with this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it going to be every 30 days? And so that disruption and uncertainty, I'm wondering if that starts weighing on the market as a whole. Give me a second here, guys. I don't like what's happening here. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Gives me a warning. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that or not. Let's watch this for a second. Sorry. So I get why you would look at that, Jacob. I'm not a fan of Baba. What's up, Kev? I might be up there. Maybe we'll do we'll have like a big happy hour or something. Tell everybody I'm up there. I gotta tell you something, like my read on this, we'll see tomorrow what happens when the other, I think it's Shanghai that opens tomorrow, right? Hang Seng opened on, hold on. John just told me this. Hang Seng opened Monday. Shanghai opens Wednesday. I have to tell you, like, I'm shocked. I tell you how well you held. I came in short, and I made money on the short side, that and yin, but I'm really surprised at how well Bob is holding. And even yen yesterday, I'm really surprised by that, because usually when the A shares can sell, they dump. And, we really didn't do that yet. Now, I'm pretty sure they can sell. They're selling on the Hang Seng. They're not selling on the Shanghai. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that they'd correct me in the room in like 2 seconds, considering their very large population from over there in the room. Root looked like a monster yesterday, dude. Absolute monster. I don't know why. Some of these other names look just fantastic, like the insurance companies, but I don't know what's going on here. But my God, it looks ready again, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like that went too well. What's up, Ajax? The HIMS trade, I'm hearing a lot about this again. It's so fascinating to me. Nobody wanted it when it had the drug, and I don't know. I mean, you're way ahead of yourself here, man. So it's not something I would go near now. To me, you're like, wait, like this is usually when you buy this thing and it implodes. So you have these breakouts and then it consolidates and then breaks out, consolidates. Like, I don't know that I want to be buying up here. I don't know that I want to be doing that. So, I mean, I see it. I think this was the significance of that level, like test, breaks out, can't go, breaks out, retest that level, holds that level and goes. I think in here was really your area of interest. I'm not saying that you're not going higher. I just don't know that I want to be involved up here. I mean, I know what they sell. I got it, but I don't know that I want to do that. EC. Oh, it's 9. I got to jump, guys. Let me just go through this real quick. What's up, Steve? Well, you didn't know what earnings are going to do, dude. Good morning from Naperville. Good morning from Miami. I like Naperville. We have bonding this morning. Oh, is that what it is? Elf's products are made in China. Okay, thanks. Yep, you have earnings tonight. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's interesting. I like TeamU a lot. I'm sorry, I like Dash a lot. Man, I need another cup of coffee. We got to get together. I like Dash a lot here. I think it makes a lot of sense, candidly. I think it makes a lot of sense here. Isn't that crazy how that works? What's up, Miriam? Yeah, I got to watch all that stuff. What's up, James? It could move it a lot. Depends how how vicious it is. The rule of thumb was that they were going to go after the contractors. They're not going after the contractors, right? Like, I think that's really interesting. Like, they're not going after the contractors. They're going after the government for spending, and not so much just what the defense budget is. I think that's really telling. Really telling. So let's see how this goes, and we'll go from there. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today.